Have you ever noticed that anxiety can feel strangely familiar? Not pleasant. Not enjoyable. But familiar. You tell yourself you want peace. You tell yourself you want to relax. You tell yourself you want your mind to finally slow down. And yet somehow, anxiety keeps returning. The reason may be more surprising than you think. According to psychotherapist Owen O'Kane in his book Addicted to Anxiety, many people don't just experience anxiety. They accidentally practice it. Over time, anxiety can become a habit. Not because you want it, but because your brain learns it. Think about what happens when you wake up in the morning. Before your feet even touch the floor, your mind begins scanning. What do I need to do today? What could go wrong? What did I forget? What if something bad happens? Within seconds, your nervous system is already preparing for danger. Most people assume anxiety is caused by their circumstances. But often anxiety is maintained by patterns. Patterns of thinking. Patterns of attention. Patterns of behavior. The more often you repeat those patterns, the more automatic they become. Imagine a person who constantly checks their phone after sending a message. They send a text. No reply. Immediately the mind begins creating stories. Did I say something wrong? Are they upset? Did I offend them? Maybe they don't like me anymore. The anxiety grows. So they check again. And again. And again. The checking creates temporary relief. But that relief teaches the brain something important. It teaches the brain that checking is necessary. And so the cycle continues. The same thing happens with worry. Most people believe worrying protects them. They think that if they think about a problem long enough, they can prevent it. But how often has that actually happened? Worry creates the illusion of control. It feels productive. It feels responsible. But in reality, it often traps us inside an endless loop. We think about the future. We imagine problems. We prepare for situations that may never happen. And our nervous system reacts as if those imaginary situations are real. This is one reason anxiety feels so exhausting. Your body doesn't always know the difference between a real threat and a vividly imagined one. Another important idea from Addicted to Anxiety is that anxious people often become experts at monitoring themselves. They constantly check their emotions. They constantly check their thoughts. They constantly check their bodies. How anxious am I? Why am I feeling this? What if this feeling gets worse? What if I panic? What if I lose control? Ironically, the more attention we give anxiety, the larger it often becomes. Imagine holding a magnifying glass over a tiny scratch. Eventually that scratch begins to look enormous. Anxiety works the same way. The constant monitoring convinces us that something must be wrong. And so we continue searching. Many people spend years searching for the moment they finally feel completely calm. But Owen O'Kane argues that this can become another trap. Because the goal is not to eliminate every trace of anxiety. The goal is to stop organizing your life around it. Think about how many decisions anxiety influences. Places you don't go. Conversations you avoid. Opportunities you postpone. Dreams you delay. At first those choices seem small. But over time they create a smaller and smaller life. And the smaller life becomes, the stronger anxiety appears. This is why avoidance is so powerful. Avoidance provides immediate relief. But it quietly strengthens fear. Every time we avoid something, the brain receives the message. That situation must be dangerous. Otherwise, I wouldn't be avoiding it. And so anxiety gains more authority. One of the most freeing ideas in the book is that recovery does not require perfect confidence. Most people are waiting to feel brave before they act. But confidence often comes after action, not before. The person who boards the airplane while anxious becomes more confident. The person who attends the social event while anxious becomes more confident. The person who applies for the job while anxious becomes more confident. Action teaches lessons that thinking never can. This doesn't mean anxiety disappears overnight. It means anxiety slowly loses its power. Because every experience teaches your brain something new. You survived. You handled it. The danger wasn't as great as you imagined. And over time, those lessons begin to accumulate. Perhaps the biggest misunderstanding about anxiety is that it is always an enemy. Sometimes anxiety is simply a signal. A signal that you care. A signal that you're growing. A signal that you're stepping outside familiar territory. The goal is not to destroy anxiety. The goal is to stop letting anxiety make your decisions. Because when anxiety becomes a habit, freedom begins with awareness. Awareness of your thoughts. Awareness of your patterns. Awareness of the ways you unintentionally keep the cycle alive. And once you see the cycle clearly, you can begin choosing something different. One small decision at a time. One step at a time. And eventually, what once felt impossible to escape no longer controls your life.